Good morning. This is Laura from Natural Abundance, and I am making this video to show you guys a prop that I made to use for childbirth ed classes. This is one that a lot of teachers use, but for some reason I had a really hard time finding instructions online when I went looking. So I figured after I had mine done, I would make this video for you guys so it would be easy for you to make one for your own classes. This is just made from layers of felt and a couple other things. And it goes through all the different layers that need to be cut through or moved aside or moved out of the way in order to get to the baby in a C-section. And this is not something that I would necessarily go through in great detail with my students, but I might just sort of say, hey, this is what that is, and pass it, or have it sitting over on a table with other resources for them to interact with on their own, and then ask questions if they have questions. So the top layer is the skin, obviously, and I made the cut about the actual length of what the bikini incision would be in a C-section, so they can kind of get a feel for it. And I've made it so that they could go all the way down through here and get to the bottom if they want to, but you can also flip it, and then there's some more information on these pages. So under that is the fatty layer, same type of incision, and then the fascia, and this is that tough fibrous layer. And I even found a felt that's got some, can you see that? It's actually got some more little fibers in there. It has a different kind of texture to it. And that supports that fatty layer. And then the ab muscles, I made just to kind of, they don't need to cut those, they just divide them and push them out of the way. And then under that is this, and this is a clear plastic shower curtain I cut a piece from. So it's kind of hard to see on the video, it's a lot easier to see in person, but I wrote the description of this layer, and this is another supportive layer. This supports a lot of the things that surrounds a lot of the internal organs in the abdominal cavity. So this is a lining of abdominal cavity, thin and flimsy, fairly transparent, and this cut is vertical here, the peritoneum. And then the bladder I made so you can just sort of push it downward, move it out of the way. And then the incision on the uterus is smaller, you can see, than the one on the skin. And then below that is the amniotic sac, and that's not really a big cut, it's just sort of a prick. And then under that is the baby. Isn't he cute? So this is just a great tool for them to be able to see. You know, a lot of people think with a C-section, you just make a cut, pull the baby out. And it is really a serious abdominal surgery, which is why the recovery can take so long. And there can be complications because there's a lot more to it than a lot of people think. So I hope this is helpful. I will put a couple links in this blog post to show you where I got some of this information if you want to reference it. And there are lots of versions you can do of this. I've seen some where, you know, the bladder, they actually make a little pouch and stuff it full and make it more realistic, but I like this because it's non-threatening while still being informational. So I hope that's helpful for you and for your students.